And we can definitely feel the heat these last few days brought by the easterlies, as what weather officials are telling us. And during this warm and humid season, it is easy for all of us to get dehydrated even without realizing it. So how do we cope and stay safe? So joining us now, we have health spokesperson Dr. Eric Domingo and tennis fitness coach Eric San Pedro to join us and to tell us how we can still be fit and how can we work out in this extreme heat. So welcome to New Day, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being with us early in the morning. So first off, Doc Eric, do tell us who are most at risk when it
now that the temperatures are rising, our hospitals are actually preparing, especially for the elderly. Seasonally, once the temperatures reach the all-time highs, the old people who are more vulnerable to dehydration and to changes in their electrolyte balance come to our hospitals with weakness, dizziness. Sometimes they get disoriented. Some even have convulsions from heat stroke, and it can be potentially complicated.
Why is that? Why are they more susceptible? Is it just because, well, they're aging or they're...
Yeah, well, during the very hot parts of the day, you tend to sweat a lot so that you can control your body temperature and maintain it low. And if you don't replace your water loss and you don't hydrate, then you really get all of those symptoms. You get weakness and you get lethargy, and their temperature rises to feverish heights. And of course, small children are also prone. They play around the whole day. You can't stop them. They forget to drink. So these really, the extreme ages, very young and the very old, are the ones who are prone to a lot of diseases.
What can we do? So we already know this. It will be the elderly and the young ones that are more susceptible. What can we do? I mean, as parents?
Well, our best advice is, during the hottest parts of the day, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., stay indoors. Do not do any, do not exert too much during doing heavy activities, and keep yourself hydrated. Always drink cool water, 8-10 glasses of water a day. That should be enough to keep your balance in check.
It's so hard to stay hydrated or stay indoors, especially that it is the summer and people are out there. Like Coach Eric, people are out there and people want to exercise. I mean, they want to get ready to hit the beach and to work out, and there are a lot of runs. Palarong Pambansa is coming up in May. So what do we do? I mean, what are the things that we have to think about as we get ready for the summer?
As Doc Eric mentioned, it's important to be hydrated. I think everyone knows the importance about it. It's just reminding them that, while we're sleeping, you actually lose also fluid. So as soon as you wake up, like me, I prefer to drink a tall glass of water with lemon. So it balances out everything. And then when you're going to exercise or do anything fitness, avoid midday heat. Meaning, as Doc mentioned, it's about 10 to 2. So if you could get up as early as possible, try to do it outdoor, wear light clothing and light colored clothing. Because if it's darker, it actually absorbs more heat. So it draws a lot of sweat and fluid out of your body. And if you're going to hydrate yourself, since you're doing exercise, water is good. But it would be also better if you mix drinks, like sugary drinks. For me, during workout, is a no-no.
Explain sugary drinks. I mean, both of you have chimed in on this, and a lot of people, like tayo mga Pinoy, di ba? Pag mainit, what do we see out there? Mga sagot gulaman, and a lot of these things that reach out for, because it's refreshing. So what are the do's and don'ts when it comes to sweet drinks, and why? Why shouldn't we?
There are drinks that do not hydrate you. They actually dehydrate you more. That's sodas, coffee, tea, and sugary drinks. When you initially take it, the sugar brings out more water into your gut than brings water to your blood. So it's not really healthy.
But it tastes so good. I mean, it's like so refreshing, right?
Well, exactly. You said it. It's refreshing, but your mind is fooling you. It's actually not hydrating you. I mean, like, for example, buko is the perfect thing to hydrate.
So we're good.
We're good with buko. But as you can see, a lot of people that sells buko, they still put sugar in it, which is strange. So, but just pure buko alone would be the perfect drink. In any form of exercise. Again, try to avoid extreme heat during exercises.
What if you can't? Because a lot of people are heading to the beach, and I said there's going to be a lot of competition happening this summer. What if hindi pwede maiwasan na you're going to be under the sun from 10 to 2? What are the other things that we have to take into consideration?
Well, protect yourself from the sun. Wear a hat, sunblock, and then keep hydrating with cool water. Not very cold water. That might cramp your gastrointestinal system even more. But cool water, constantly sipping it would be very helpful.
If you can put sunglasses on to protect your eyes as well. And that would be highly,
How about
suggested.
How about like salt? Must we pay particular attention to salt? Must we increase salt intake to keep the water in our bodies, or how does that play into effect as we try to stay healthy?
A lot of problems also come with electrolyte imbalance because when you sweat, it's not just water. Your salts come out, your sodium and your potassium come out. So a good balance is fine, but it's very difficult din kasi to balance it in a drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some drinks that are available, medical grade drinks with salt in it. But otherwise, it might be tricky to mix it up because if you have too much salt, again, it dehydrates you in the same way that you cannot drink salt water.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, as Doc
Same.
said, it's difficult to balance. But again, if you're aware of the conditions, you're actually preventing yourself being
How do we
hydrated.
know? Okay, so I know there's so many questions actually running through my head right now. First off, how do you know if we are actually dehydrated? Are there signs?
Oh, your body tells you
Yeah.
when you're thirsty. That's number one. And if you pinch your skin and it doesn't go back, then that's dehydration. If it doesn't go back, it doesn't spring back to
Okay.
life. That's
Okay.
you mean you're dehydrated. And you look at the mucosa, the tongue and the cheeks. If they're dry, you're dehydrated.
Actually, Doc is correct. The body is highly intelligent. If you're in tune to it, it actually tells you. When you're in pain, it actually tells you. When you're thirsty, it actually tells you. So you just have to completely aware of the condition of the body.
And of course, like also your body fluids,
Yeah.
right? When you go to the bathroom and when
Yeah.
you
If
your
you pee too
urine, you
much,
pee too
yeah.
much, or the color of your urine as well. So with that, what's the extreme case? We talk about dehydration, and we know that you could cramp. You can
Yeah.
also get heat cramps or heat stroke.
Heat stroke, that's like terrible. You can like lose consciousness, you can have convulsions. And people are brought into the hospital for this. It's like a stroke, it's like your brain and your body giving out. So severe dehydration is really something to watch out for during summer.
This is definitely something that we shouldn't take lightly, so we know we should stay hydrated, wear proper
Yeah.
clothing. How about eating? I mean, can we just eat bigger meals, smaller meals?
Well, that depends on how much activity that
Okay.
you would do during the day. So again, it would be best if you put nutrition that's high in fiber, vegetables, whole grains, a lot of things that would help you recover faster. Your performance in terms of activity becomes a bit more efficient if you actually put the right and proper nutrition in your body. So
Food is
75% of everything you do comes from what you eat.
That's
As
right.
they say, I think you are what you eat.
That's right. Food is medicine. Any
And
last
fruit.
tips?
Eat a lot of fruit.
Okay.
20% of your water intake doesn't come from drinks. It comes from food. And fruit is a very healthy source of fluids.
Wonderful. Well, I wish we had more time to talk about this because I know it is very important for us to actually stay hydrated. And as I said, summer is it's started, but it could get a lot warmer
It's
with the
gonna get
coming
warmer.
days after Holy Week and everything else. Well, thank you so much, Mike, to Doc Eric and Coach Eric for being with us this morning here on New Day.